2019 Municipal Equality Index scorecard launch. My name is Jason Zeman. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the CEO of the Corridor Entertainment Group, which includes businesses such as City Liquor, Eden Lounge, the Yacht Club, and of course Studio 13. I take pride in being involved in the community and giving back to the community through contributing my time as a board member of Iowa City Pride. I'm also a member of such groups as the One Iowa Advisory Council, the Iowa City Nighttime Arts and Culture Council, and the Think Iowa City Diversity Council. But what makes me most happy to be here today is I'm a member of Iowa City's LGBTQ+ community. The Municipal Equality Index scorecard measures how inclusive a city is of the LGBTQ+ community. Representing a thorough examination of all aspects of a city's governance and services, the scorecard is a reliable indicator of whether I and my community are actively included in civic life. Although no place is perfect and we continue to strive for progress, I know that in Iowa City, I can turn to law enforcement if my business is vandalized, to the Equity and Human Rights Office if I experience discrimination, and a city council member who understands my lived experience if I have a public policy concern. I will not be ignored or worse, persecuted simply for being who I am, and that makes a world of difference to me. And now it's my great pleasure to introduce Jody Winterhoff, Senior Vice President of Policy and Political Affairs for the Human Rights Campaign. Jody, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much, Jason. I do want to acknowledge our wonderful speakers who are with us today. We have the One Iowa Executive Director, Courtney Reyes, with us today. We have Mayor Throgmorton with us today. We have City Council Person Bruce Teague. We have Iowa City Equity Director Stephanie Bowers. We have the Corridor Entertainment Group, Jason Zeman, who you just heard from. And we have Toni, who heads up Iowa City Pride. So thank you so much, everybody, for being here. And I see so many wonderful people in the audience as well. So it is a great day. And I have to say, on behalf of the Human Rights Campaign Foundation and our over 3 million members and supporters around the country, and as a native Iowan, I'm very and particularly proud to be here in Iowa City today to highlight your good work and your work for the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer community through the release of the Human Rights Campaign Foundation 2019 Municipal Equality Index. Today is the national release of the index around the country, which features over 500 cities and information that you can turn to learn whether or not your city has protections and in what form. Here in Iowa, the Iowa City Council and the mayor, along with other leaders, citizens, students, and others, have built a flourishing and inclusive community that is welcoming to all and focused on building a better future for LGBTQ people here in Iowa City. The Human Rights Campaign Foundation's 2019 Municipal Equality Index lays out in vivid detail how municipalities are stepping up for fairness and equality by protecting LGBTQ people for residents and for visitors. Here in Iowa City, we're proud to announce the city has yet again earned 100-point rating for the 6th year in a row. So congratulations, Iowa City. 88 other cities around the country have also earned the highest possible score this year, the most in the Municipal Equality Index history and up from 78 cities last year. And the index started in 2012. And in 2012, there were 11 cities that received the 100 rating. And so we have an 8-fold increase since 2012, just 7 years ago. From coast to coast and in every corner of our country, local leaders are moving our community closer to full equality. From Iowa City, Iowa to Anchorage, Alaska, from Norman, Oklahoma to State College, Pennsylvania, where my boss and the new president of the Human Rights Campaign, Alfonso David, also did a launch of the Municipal Equality Index earlier today. The national city average this year jumped to a record high of 60 points, up from 58 last year, marking the 3rd year in a row that the national average has increased. Impressively, every region of the country experienced a mean city score increase this year. Thanks for letting me nerd out for a few minutes. Local leaders here in Iowa City understand to advance LGBTQ rights, they have to make sure that their own employment practices and policies are progressive and equitable, a lesson that the last year has proven Iowa State leaders, some of them, still need to learn. For years, Iowa City has led the state in providing access to health care for every LGBTQ person, including transition-related health care benefits for all city employees. But when the time came for the state of Iowa to take the step towards inclusion, there were some Republican leaders who stood in the way. And at the last possible moment in this last session, Governor Reynolds signed legislation that allowed legislators to refuse state funding for critically important, often life-saving, transition-related care for transgender and non-binary Iowans. This action didn't go unnoticed. We joined with groups like One Iowa, Iowa Interfaith Alliance, and Iowans all across the state to call out the state government for these harmful actions. But there's a different story to tell today, because the story today is that across the country, a record-breaking 164 out of 506 cities that we scored in the index now offer transgender-inclusive health benefits to city employees, proving once again that so many states, cities, and people in this country see a path to support legal protections that are inclusive of the LGBTQ community, living their day-to-day lives free of discrimination, and with the support that we all deserve. We wanted to come to Iowa City specifically because the last year, Mayor Throckmorton and the City Council have been a model for how a great city can become even better. Earlier this year, Iowa City expanded its bullying protections in all youth-facing city services and programs. All too often, LGBTQ children deal with bullying both online and off, and that leads to higher rates of depression, anxiety, and regrettably, even suicide. As we encourage cities to make further progress, we also celebrate the amazing work that is being done right now to make cities and towns better, more equitable places to live and work. And this work is not going unnoticed by our country's leading businesses. Both companies and municipalities understand that embracing equality is not only the right thing to do, it also helps businesses and economies thrive. The Municipal Equality Index, therefore, serves not only as a guide for city leaders, but also as a resource for companies looking to expand into places that are actively fostering inclusion. This work to advance equality would not be possible without our partners in the Equality Federation Institute nationally and statewide LGBTQ organizations like One Iowa, and we're so grateful. They all continue to fight with us fiercely to uplift and empower LGBTQ people in their states, communities, where they live. And so we're so grateful to be here today and to celebrate and congratulate Iowa City and all of you in this community who have made this possible. Thank you so much for allowing us to be here with you today.
Thank you, Jody. Our next speaker is Mayor James Throckmorton, Mayor of Iowa City. Dr. Throckmorton has been mayor since 2016. He is a retired University of Iowa professor with a PhD in urban and regional planning. Please welcome Mayor Throckmorton.
Thank you, Jason, and it's a great pleasure to be here with all of you this afternoon. Thanks for coming. And before proceeding, I want to recognize and thank Jody Winterhoff, the Human Rights Campaign's Senior Vice President, for joining us today. So thanks for coming. And also, some people came along with you, right? Colin Cudney, Lucas Acosta, Heriberto Velasquez, and that's it, right? The total of 4 people. So thanks to all of you for coming. We in Iowa City government are very proud of the work we've done to meet the Human Rights Campaign's, to merit the Human Rights Campaign's staff visit. In particular, we are very pleased that the Human Rights Campaign has, for the 6th straight year, recognized our city for achieving a perfect score on the campaign's Municipal Equality Index, the MEI. As many of you know, and we've already sort of heard, the MEI scorecard measures how inclusive a city is for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer individuals. Many factors go into this rating, including the city's laws, policies, services, law enforcement practices. We have a lot of fine officers with us here today. And municipal employment. The MEI rating also considers the city's leadership's public position on LGBTQ equality, as well as the extent to which openly LGBTQ individuals are included among the leadership's members. And we all know our council has one such person, and I'm very pleased that Bruce is here with us today. The rating process requires many hours of data gathering. I can't imagine how many. I'm glad I'm not doing it, too. With that in mind, I want to direct a special thanks to Stephanie Bowers, our Human Rights Coordinator and Equity Director. Stephanie, where are you? Bravo, Stephanie. Bravo. So I'm praising Stephanie, who's our Human Rights Coordinator and Equity Director, for compiling our city's information and for making sure we are doing everything we can to make Iowa City an inclusive place to live. Iowa City has long been committed to LGBTQ rights. In 1977, we adopted a local ordinance protecting against discrimination based on sexual orientation in employment. In 1995, we added gender identity to our anti-discrimination ordinance. And I'm especially pleased to note that I was a member of the City Council in 1995 when we adopted that ordinance. And it was a pretty controversial thing here. And we just bowled on ahead. Early in 2017, we passed a resolution against conversion therapy, a thoroughly discredited process and an egregious misapplication of the word therapy. We have a Pride Festival. We have had a Pride Festival here since the year after Stonewall, which makes ours one of the oldest Pride events in the U.S. And we have long supported LGBTQ organizations. In addition to supporting the Pride Festival, we have financially assisted organizations such as United Action for Youth and its yearly Pride Con and Q camps. These camps give junior and senior high school aged youth safe places to be themselves. In addition to steadily supporting such programs, we regularly review and update city policies to protect our residents from harm and to provide a safe and supportive environment for everyone. This year, we instituted an anti-bullying policy, which applies to staff, volunteers, and participants in all youth-serving activities and programs sponsored by the city. Our strategic plan, which is a key part of what we do here in the city, calls for forging a more inclusive, just, and sustainable city. Consequently, inclusivity is a fundamental part of everything we do. We will continue to seek out opportunities to support our LGBTQ+ community members in new ways, and we welcome ideas regarding how we can do that. So this approach has enabled us to achieve a perfect 100 score on the MEI index for 6 years in a row. We look forward to meriting that score for many years to come. I want to end by saying we have another proclamation that pertains to today's event. It's a proclamation I'm going to have the pleasure of reading tonight, so I want to give it to you, Jody. It's a proclamation concerning Transgender Remembrance Day. I'm not going to read it all because it's a little too long for the event right now, but I want to give it to you. So if you would come up. Okay, Jason.
Thank you, Mayor. Now I'd like to welcome City Councilman Bruce Teague. Bruce is a fellow volunteer for One Iowa, as well as a host of other organizations. Between volunteering, owning 2 businesses, serving as a council member, and spending time with his family, Bruce stays very busy. But I'm glad he can make room in his schedule to be here today. He's an old friend of mine. I'm proud to welcome Councilman Bruce Teague.
What an awesome and amazing honor it is to be standing up here with you today. I cannot give enough thanks to the Human Rights Campaign and for all the work that you do and for being here in our city today. Thank you so much. Today really is a great day. It is a great announcement of the Equity Index score received from the Human Rights Campaign, and I am beyond proud of our city. But if I must be honest, it didn't surprise me. I've always known Iowa City has been an awesome and amazing place when it comes down to the rights and dignity of all people. I can attest to it. 26 years ago, I arrived in Iowa City, 17 years old, a young black gay youth from the inner city of Iowa, from the inner city of Chicago. I have never felt more safe and more comfortable being open and honest about who I am than here in Iowa City. Iowa City has allowed me to thrive and grow as a unique individual with dignity and self-love Because of the love and acceptance that I felt here, I choose to stay and give back through creating businesses and jobs. I have more than 30 family members that live here now, and I am the first openly gay elected official on the city council. But all of it could not be possible without a city that protects individuals who identify as LGBTQ+. This couldn't be possible without a city that makes it a priority to protect all people, whether you're a woman, a man, black, brown, or white, disabled or able, no matter what religion you choose to practice, no matter if you're straight, gay, bi, or transgender. Because the role of government and the creation of anti-discrimination laws are essential to making all of us feel safe. It is essential to the human dignity, and it's essential to human progress. This starts on a local level. And we have come so far over the decades, standing on the shoulders of activists that have come before us in the fight for equality, and we continue to stand united. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of work to be done yet to ensure that the LGBTQ+ rights, which are human rights, are maintained, they grow, and finally, they're written in the fabric of our society. We cannot take for granted the enjoyment of our lives here in Iowa City while others across the state and the country continue to experience discrimination on many levels. Our voices must be heard locally, on the steps of Des Moines, and all the way in Washington, D.C. I am optimistic. I am wholly optimistic. If we keep focused and keep the faith, the direction we're heading as a community is astoundingly promising. Our future must be one of unconditional love and respect for every individual within our city buildings, schools, businesses, neighborhoods, religious communities, in our playgrounds, and most importantly, within every individual within our community. Today is an awesome and amazing day. The Human Rights Campaign is awesome and amazing. You in this room today, you're all awesome and amazing. Iowa City is awesome and amazing. And again, I want to thank you for bringing this great news and great recognition to Iowa City. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bruce. Our next speaker is Toni C. Van Thapa, President of Iowa City Pride, which is one of the oldest pride organizations in the country, celebrating its 50th year in 2020. Toni is a successful local chef, community leader, and advocate. He's also pursuing his law degree. Please welcome Toni.
I couldn't be more honored to be representing Iowa City Pride up here on its 50th anniversary and representing Iowa City. They make my job as president way easier than any other city out there. I grew up about 30 minutes from here, and that is not the case. Looking up from where I grew up, they have no laws in place, nothing like that. So it's a great honor to be standing here. And Iowa City, along with the University of Iowa, has a long history of supporting our community. So it's no surprise that for the 6th year, we have a perfect score. Working with Pride and other businesses in Iowa City, I've been able to experience how these laws and protections have been embraced and welcomed. I have personally seen discrimination for being gay and a teacher. I was able to go to the city and fight that and, get my unemployment and fight that company who no longer is around. And in recent conversations with LGBTQ students at the University of Iowa, their biggest concern was their human rights, as the current administration in the White House right now seems to not want to protect those. Being here for so long, for 12 years, I was able to reassure them that here in Iowa City, their rights were protected and that we will always be there for them. And it's a great honor that the Human Rights Campaign is able to put out this index, and I will be able to go back and share that with them now, because honestly, I didn't know much about the index until I was asked to speak here. So now I'll be able to go back to Spectrum and let them know that they can look at this index, and when they graduate, they'll be able to figure out where they can go and feel safe and welcomed. And the strides we are making here locally, regionally, and as a state has shown the continued fight against the attacks that anyone in the White House or the administration is putting on us. And as long as we work locally, regionally, and statewide, we can continue to fight these people and what they're trying to do for us. And it makes me proud, not only as a gay man, but as a gay person of color, knowing that Iowa City will continue to make strides to ensure that our city is safe for all people. Thank you.
Our final speaker today is Courtney Reyes. Courtney was recently named the Executive Director of One Iowa. One Iowa's original mission was to advocate for LGBTQ+ Iowans' right to marry. When that goal was realized, the focus shifted to ensuring LGBTQ+ Iowans were protected in every facet of their lives. Even though Iowa has legal protection against sexual orientation and gender identity discrimination in employment, over half of Iowans in our community are not out at work. We have a long way to go, and One Iowa is on the front lines of the fight every day. Please welcome Courtney.
Hello. My name is Courtney Reyes, and my pronouns are she, her, hers. I am honored to be here. Thank you to the HRC. You are incredible partners and always just a phone call away. Lindsay Clark, I lean on them often. They're a true advocate. So City of Iowa City, congratulations, and thank you for having us here today. This is my second week on the job, so I appreciate you all having me here. At One Iowa, we do spend a lot of time working in the workplace. So many people do not get to bring their full self to work, and we know that happy, healthy people provide a better bottom line. So we can get to business owners and to mayors because it's good for you. It's good for your city. It's good for the overall health of this place to have out healthy people. So that's a lot of the work that we do at One Iowa. We love this equality index for folks to be able to really measure themselves on something. And if you score low, we challenge those cities to reach out, get some help, start making moves. If you score high, 6 years in a row, where are you going? You're doing it. You keep adding things to provide protections for folks, providing more protections to trans folks and non-binary people in your community. You're doing that, and that's what we hope you continue to do. I just met with someone from the City of Iowa City today about starting a diversity group. This is how change continues to happen. It's the people in this room that make that happen, and I'm honored to be a part of that. Our team is honored to be a part of that. So please reach out to us. We are a statewide organization. I know as a Des Moines person to head over here to Iowa City as a Cyclone fan. It's really nice to know that it is a warm and welcoming space for me to bring my family, bring my wife and my kids, and to have a great place to hang out. So keep doing what you're doing. We're here to support you. We're honored that you have always been a supporter of ours. People in Des Moines will see your name on our sponsorship sheet and really question, like, what's that City of Iowa City doing? You're doing it. You're putting your money where your mouth is, and we really appreciate that. Again, thank you so much. Congratulations to you, and please let us know if we can help in any way.
Thank you, Courtney. Thank you to everyone at MEI for recognizing a small city in Iowa for our efforts. If we're going to achieve true equality in this country, we need everyone working for that common goal. It's not just large urban areas, but also places like Iowa City that quietly go about the business of trying to improve life for all members of the community every day. We're very glad to represent smaller cities with big ideas for moving forward into a more equitable future. That concludes our programming, so please give our speakers and MEI staff a round of applause. Now, I apologize if I can move everybody because the City Council does need